This is one I wonder if it's ever happened to you. It happens to a lot of people, which is the sense of shame that comes when a narcissistic person has actually treated you kind of nicely, but treats other people horribly. Some of you who are golden children will appreciate this. As might people watching this who have tyrannical bosses that for some reason you're able to work with. It is much, much more rare for this phenomenon to happen in an intimate relationship where your partner probably won't treat you well and other people badly, but let's take a look at this. So the narcissistic person treats you well a decent amount of the time, right? They may compliment you. They may want to spend time with you. They may want you to work with them all the time. They may even do things like tell you how much better you are than other people. They may want to take you to nice places or ensure that you're well looked after. And then you may witness them treating other people horribly. You might see them be horribly rude to a person like a restaurant server, or mean to a person who may come to fix something in the house. You may see them be really rude and dismissive to another employee in the company, or contemptuous and awful towards another family member. This can feel like cognitive dissonance on an epic level. Because if all you did was focus on how they treated you, then you might say, okay, it's fine, because they might be relatively attentive, attuned, interested, engaged. And yet, you would also hear them being very dismissive, cruelly so, of other people, and most pointedly, witness them being awful to others, including people that you may care about. I mean, I don't know, it's like eating a piece of yummy, yummy fruit and then finding a worm inside of it. You feel good about something and then bam! And you do not know how to feel then because they are nice to you, or at least treat you well, and they are very rude and awful to other people. And then they'll go be rude and awful to someone and then come back and be nice to you. If you have been in a situation like this, how did you feel, most pointedly, how did you feel physiologically? In my experience, the common answers people have given to this are they felt nauseous, dizzy, panicky, like panic type symptoms. You may have also felt confused, perhaps angry, but more people actually just report feeling sick, like sick. Now listen, lots of folks who are from narcissistic families or relationships or even workplaces feel a sense of disloyalty at calling or even thinking that someone is narcissistic, even if that person's behaving really, really terribly. So that is difficult enough, but at least it starts to add up. Manipulative, invalidating, unempathic person. Okay, yeah, that pattern adds up. It's consistent, it's awful. It hurts to think it won't change. And strangely that, like an unempathic person is behaving badly, that all seems quite straightforward compared to what I'm talking about now. When the narcissistic person, for whatever reason, is treating you as or has anointed you as the good one, and you are not narcissistic yourself, which you probably aren't since you are watching this channel, this is a mind F of the highest degree. Because you have to reconcile a relationship that you may actually value or maybe even enjoy, especially a family member. For example, you might be the chosen one of an awful, mean, abusive grandparent who's abusive to everyone except you. You have to reconcile that with their terrible and perhaps even abusive treatment of other people. What do? I mean, as you can imagine, there is no easy answer. But I can tell you one thing to not ever do. Please don't be the person who invalidates other people's experience of abuse by saying, well, I don't know if you're having a problem. Like, listen, they've only ever been good to me. Nobody wants to hear that when they're being harmed. You would be better off saying nothing or simply acknowledging that that other person is indeed being harmed. But here is where it gets very tricky. The people around you whom you may also care about may view your relationship with this narcissistic person as a betrayal. They may say, how can you be close to someone who is so awful to me or to the family? And now you are in what that feels like something beyond a catch-22. if you were to confront this narcissistic person for some reason is being decent to you, if you were to confront them about this kind of double standard treatment, they may gaslight you, they probably will, and deny it. And they may tell you bad things about those other people, which can raise even more confusion and doubt. And of course, that narcissistic person may distance from you. That last one may feel like a big loss, especially if you are fond of this person and they were taking up a lot of time and space in your life. But another experience unfolds, which may actually be a sense of complicity, self-loathing, that you are part of the problem because of this affiliation with this person who's harming people, that you are friends with the tormentor and the abuser, and it becomes a sort of guilt by proximity. And you might even wonder, am I also narcissistic? And what's wrong with me? And why do they want to spend time with me? Am I just some big, horrible enabler? Maybe not. Narcissistic people have their, like I said, anointed favorites for a variety of reasons. Sometimes they do it to F with people. Sometimes because you validate them, because you do stuff for them, that you are in some way, shape, or form a really good source of supply. Maybe you're just a super easy person for them. You anticipate their needs, you have few of your own, you make them look good, you're up for anything. Whatever it is, it works for them. And so you have this experience that's quite different from others. You may have a really deeply shared interest, for example. The painful part is that remaining in this relationship may mean that you're going to lose others. And while it may feel incredibly unfair, I'm here to tell you it's also understandable. You may also be placed in an uncomfortable sort of henchman position with perhaps others in the system leaning on you to grease the skids with the narcissistic person, which is not only very uncomfortable, but may also end you up getting kicked off of that pedestal very soon. I'm not so sure that anybody should be on a pedestal anyhow. If you are somehow, for some reason, in the narcissistic person's good books, or you didn't even know they were narcissistic until you saw how they treated other people, I can tell you this, it's probably not going to last for long. And if it does last for long, that this narcissistic person is great to you for such a long time, it may end up with you being a marked person and being lumped in with the narcissist. If you were a child when this happened, it can be even more confusing because you can't quite grasp the multiple truths of it all and may feel special with this person that everyone else hates or fears. You may also have the experience of being replaced in this role too, when another heir apparent of being their favorite shows up. Ultimately, though, it's never a good position. Most people in this role feel as though they're doing something bad, that they're partly complicit, almost contaminated, and that they may lose people that they care about and love. There is a sense that sometimes people have of almost being personally damaged. Almost like, if someone who is this mean and terrible likes me, what does that mean about me? And there can also be that good feeling of being chosen, but then that mixes with the bad feeling that it was not by a person that you necessarily wanted to be chosen by. But if other people in that system don't choose you and this person does, this can feel even more fraught. But by and large, there will be shame. That sense, yes, I was chosen by them, their favorite, their preferred person, and then I had the shame of watching them harm other people, of being the one who got ice cream with them, but the other kids being left out. There's something strangely alienating about that feeling. Having these moments of fun or joy or specialness, but they can't be shared with anyone. And it can start having a hazy, almost dissociated feel to it. Ultimately, we are all pawns in narcissistic people's games until we get it. And if you are chosen by the narcissistic or antagonistic person to be treated decently enough by them, don't get ahead of yourself and believe that maybe you could be the one to show them the error of their ways, or to be the one who gives them feedback on how they can be better or stop hurting other people. While it's a noble belief and a noble gesture, they're not going to listen. But the good thing is, once you give them that kind of feedback, it's definitely going to get you off that pedestal. Good luck, and thanks again.